Welcome back to Music Kingdom. While I would describe my taste in music as eclectic, spanning various decades and genres, even still I have been asking myself, which bands, which genres, which songs am I still not really properly educated on? Which ones do I still have to explore? The last few videos on this channel being my first time listening to Iron Maiden, Metallica, David Bowie, Mac Miller. And then I went to bed last night having no idea what to review next in this video, and I kid you not, in my dream, clear as day, Radiohead hit me like a truck, and then I woke up a bit more coherent and was like, oh my god, Radiohead. So in this video, we are going to listen to, give a music theory breakdown for, and blindly review Paranoid Android by Radiohead. Hang tight. Hey music lovers, my name is Francis. If you'd like to support the work I put into these videos, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Speaking of subscribers, the last video this channel uploaded reviewing Iron Maiden was the first video this channel made since hitting 1,000 subscribers, and at the time of this video, that was just a few days ago, and we've already surpassed 1,500 subscribers. So I just really wanted to say I'm super grateful, thank you so much, and I continue to be blown away. And of course, if you'd like to support the channel even further, you'll find Music Kingdom's Patreon and other affiliate links in the description below. Alright, now before we give the song a listen, first let's briefly talk Paranoid Android by Radiohead. Normally at this part of the video, if I'm reviewing and introducing you guys to something that I know about, I will be going over history, context, facts, the making of, just things that add to the experience and important things to know regarding either the song, the album, or the artist. However, in this case, since I'm introducing myself to this song by Radiohead, and I'm assuming that 99% of you watching this will know more about the band than myself, I am going to encourage you to leave a comment down below explaining any history, facts, trivia, context, the making of this album, the making of this song, not only for myself who doesn't know as much as you, but also for anybody else who might stumble upon this video wanting to learn more about Radiohead. Now even still, despite my invitation for you guys to fill in a lot of the blanks regarding Radiohead, this album, or the song, on the off chance someone stumbles upon this video wanting to learn more, I will be giving a brief history lesson. Paranoid Android is a track from Radiohead's third studio album titled OK Computer, released in 1997. And since its release in 1997, the album OK Computer has received widespread critical acclaim and is widely considered one of the greatest albums in the history of the music industry. In addition to that, it was nominated for Album of the Year at the 1998 Grammy Awards and would win Best Alternative Music Album as well. According to my notes, in 2014 it was included by the United States Library of Congress in the National Recording Registry as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And to be honest, if the Grammy wasn't enough, that's how you know it's big time. Now regarding Paranoid Android specifically, the song has also received its own fair share of acclaim because structurally speaking, it has been noted as similar to Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, similar as well to Happiness is a Warm Gun by the Beatles, in other words, some kind of concept album structure to the song, which to my knowledge was originally a 14-minute song, then later cut and edited and reshaped into a 6-minute song. Now lyrically speaking, and I find this interesting, Yorke's lyrics were based on an unpleasant experience at a Los Angeles bar during which he was surrounded by strangers who were high on cocaine. In particular, Yorke was frightened by a woman who became violent after someone spilled a drink on her. Another random piece of trivia that I like is that the name Paranoid Android was taken from Marvin the Paranoid Android, which is from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now something worth noting, why did I pick this song? And part of the answer is a bit of a disclaimer, and that is, I have listened to Radiohead before. Now I maintain I have never educated myself properly on their albums, I've never thoroughly explored any of their work, but off the top of my head, I do know I think 2 of their songs, one of which is High and Dry, a longtime favorite of mine, even though I never really explored further, and of course the song Creep. Everybody knows the song Creep. Don't let anybody on YouTube lie and tell you that they don't know the song Creep. But anyways, I can't do those 2 songs because then it wouldn't be a true first time listen. So I went ahead and Googled best Radiohead songs, and the general consensus is that if you are showing someone a Radiohead song for the very first time to get an idea of who Radiohead is, what they're capable of as artists, Paranoid Android was always among the top of those lists. Now, were any of those lists made by Radiohead fans? That I can't vouch for, but to be honest, once I heard it was this abstract creative work of art, I was sold. Now, at long last, it's time we give the song a listen, and just a heads up, I will be pausing periodically to give my thoughts on the song and to avoid any copyright strikes. And as always, be sure to stick around after the song for a music theory breakdown from our expert, and then we're going to divide the song into various categories, grading them each and arriving at an overall score. It's a lovely intro already. Lovely production. Tasteful so far. Initial thoughts so far, the word that comes to my mind perhaps above any other words would be tasteful. It feels very intentional, it feels very deliberate. The production, at least so far, feels very sophisticated. And even though I did read that this song is eventually going to change and kind of be multiple songs in one, I will say if the entire song was this, I would be more than happy to listen to it because it is very gorgeous. I think compositionally they do a good job creating this sad and eerie atmosphere, although at the same time very pretty and beautiful. I like the little layers of production you hear in the background too. So pretty. Very smooth transition. Ooh. The compositional change up there too. Okay. Oh, I need to talk again. Fuck. So far, even though we are just in the first half of the song, I am very impressed with the artistry I'm hearing from Radiohead, and no, I do not by any means mean that to be a backhanded compliment. As mentioned, my knowledge and exposure to Radiohead is pretty limited, and even of course the 2 songs or 3 maybe that I have heard by Radiohead, absolutely yes, great talent, but it is a pleasant surprise. In addition to their well-penned lyrics, which I know that they're known for, production-wise you really notice the attention to detail, the little intricacies, compositionally speaking as well, the ability to shift the structure and the direction of the song pretty seamlessly, naturally drawing comparisons to songs like Bohemian Rhapsody or work by the Beatles. Such a nice production. That was so smooth. It's such a unique sound. Oh my god. Wow. So well put together. I love how that just creeps up on you. I mean, they kind of lull you in. Yes, there's a bit of change up compositionally speaking, and then all of a sudden, boom, they smack you right upside the head. But it was tastefully done in my opinion. It was not obnoxious whatsoever. A bitchin' guitar solo that did not feel out of place. But as I keep saying, what's really impressing me is just how well put together this feels, and in a song like this, which is kind of compositionally or creatively abstract, it does not feel aimless. Sometimes songs like that can get a bit muddy or can kind of feel a bit lost, but this one feels so intentional with its direction and its creativity. And if this is what I can come to expect from exploring more Radiohead, rest assured I will absolutely be rabbit holing. What a journey this song is. And oddly enough, this part subtly reminds me of like late 60s, early 70s Bee Gees, like Odessa. Very pretty. You really feel the angst. So well produced. The layers you hear. I'm just so wowed by the attention to detail. Now that part, the bridge, the interlude, whatever you want to call it, was absolutely stunning. And as mentioned, the attention to detail to produce something that when you're listening and it's very immersive, right? When it's in your ears, you're really picking up all of the little nuances that they put into the song. In my opinion, it's a certain level of mastery that you don't hear all too often past or present. God. What? This is so well done. Whoa. What a finish. Initial thoughts before going to the expert's corner for the music theory breakdown and before I grade each category individually, arriving at an overall score. As a whole song, that was such a journey. And while I am such a fan of music history, different decades, different genres, I don't mind the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, finish structure of a song. However, subjectively speaking, I am never going to complain when it is instead some kind of abstract, creative, artistic composition. Whether it is Paranoid Android, whether it is Bohemian Rhapsody, whether it's a 12-minute song by the band Chicago, whether it's a 14-minute song by the prog rock band Genesis, whether it's an 8-minute work of art by Michael Jackson or a 10-minute psychedelic rock song by the Bee Gees, I love admiring art in the form, in the medium of music, and this song evidently is no different. A very original song and very eye-opening to the brilliance that I've heard Radiohead has, but that I just had not experienced yet for myself. And now before I break apart the song into specific categories, grading grading them each and arriving at an overall score, let's first go to the expert's corner for a music theory breakdown and to hear what he has to say.
Welcome to the Experts Corner. This is Paranoid Android by Radiohead. This song blew my mind in more ways than one. This is normally the part where I would tell you what key the song is in, but this song has 4 keys. It starts off in the key of G minor, then it goes into the key of A minor, then it goes into a part that alternates between C minor and D minor, and then in the end it goes back to A minor. It's insanely awesome. As for the time signature, it's a bit more simple. For the most part, it's in 4/4, common time. However, there is a section in the middle where it alternates between 4/4 and 7/8. Now, 7/8 is my favorite time signature, so major points for that. Also, don't judge me for having a favorite time signature. Normally, I would play through, the main part of the song. This song's kind of like 3 or 4 songs in one, so I'm gonna play through my favorite bit, and that's this kind of, I don't know if you call it a bridge or an interlude. I think it's the 3rd section. It kind of softens up. What I love about this part is that it kind of sounds like a piece of classical music or Baroque music. I don't know the different eras. So bear with me, there are a lot of chords in this section. It goes C minor, G over B, G minor over B flat, A major, D minor, A major, D minor, C6, B flat, F over A, G minor, or G minor 7 maybe, F, E, A. And then when it repeats, it has this very kind of jarring sound because it goes from this A back to C minor. It's really dark and brooding and I love it. Here it is in action with a bit of a flair since it's such a beautiful progression. Then it would restart there. I'm not super well versed in Radiohead's catalog besides a handful of songs from In Rainbows and a few others. I actually hadn't heard this song before today, and I was expecting greatness because I have respect for Thom Yorke's talents and the band's talents, but I wasn't expecting this. I saw some comments calling this song Radiohead's Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think that's a very fitting thing to say. It's got everything that a music nerd like me geeks over: changing keys, changing time signatures, varying styles, unexpected twists and turns. And the lyrics, I admittedly am not very good at interpreting lyrics, so I'll leave that to you guys, but they seem very well written as well. And so the score that I'm going to give this song is an 8 out of 10. You may be asking, why an 8? And why not a 9 or a 10? That's a hard question for me, but for me I think it's just 9s and 10s, those for me are reserved for like the greatest, most complete, well-rounded, incredible songs of all time. This one is almost there, just not quite for me. I know it is that for a lot of you, and I respect that, but an 8 is still, I think, the highest score I've given any songs in this series. This really was an incredible song, and I think I'm gonna give it a few more listens. Back to you, Francis.
A very special thank you to our expert for providing a music theory breakdown and giving the song a very strong 8 out of 10, and to be honest, in all the videos we've made reviewing songs, I don't think I've ever heard him give that much praise to one before, so even though it wasn't a 9 or a 10 out of 10, that is probably the highest he's ever gone. And now it's time to break apart the song into 5 more categories, grading them each specifically and arriving at an overall score. Starting out with composition specifically, I will keep this brief since our expert just talked about it at length. I am inclined to give this song's composition a 9 out of 10, which on this channel is pretty rare. Reason being, what more can be said in addition to what the expert had to say? Whether we're talking about abstract creativity, intricacies, time signatures, chord progressions, this song, absolutely without a doubt, is a work of art. Similar to our expert, as mentioned, my exposure to Radiohead over the years has been limited in spite of my affinity for music past and present. So imagine my surprise and how impressed I'm going to be when I hear this work of art by them that is rightfully comparable in their own own way, in the genre's own way, to a song like Bohemian Rhapsody, or just other longer songs as well, past or present, that are going to be abstractly composed. In the past on this channel, I have received pushback from people saying, well, why did you give this song's composition a 6 or a 7? Why not give it an 8 or a 9? Answer is, because of songs like this one. Up next, we have production specifically, which I am also inclined to give a very rare 9 out of 10. I don't mean to be redundant. I know I've mentioned the word production in this video probably 20 times by now, but seriously, when I talk about production on this channel, and I'm saying I want more of this, I want more of that in order to earn an 8 or a 9 out of 10, this is, again, another example of what that looks like. In addition to the wonderful composition and structure of the song, throughout the entire time you are absolutely showered in these beautiful layers and intricacies and complexities of the production. Whether it's a certain aesthetic they produce to start the song, building with attention to detail even more layers as the song evolves, how well put together that bridge or interlude, which I love that our expert also didn't know what to call it, with how put together that was. And in my opinion, the final 40 to 50 seconds of the song where they just, it's like when you're watching fireworks on New Year's and they have that grand finale to show off what they're made of. In this song, I got the same feeling of, oh, you thought the entire song was well produced? Let's give you a grand finale, these final 40 seconds, and just throw everything plus the kitchen sink at this production, but in a tasteful way where it wasn't overproduced noise that didn't fit. I thought it was intentional, deliberate, and artistic. Moving on to vocals, it's time I come a bit back down to earth with this song. I'm going to give the vocals a modest but above average 6 out of 10. I by no means think the vocals are bad, and in my opinion, a 6 out of 10 is above average, which is good or good enough, but honestly, I do feel the vocals were the weak point of this song, at least when dissecting it and splitting hairs. Now, to play devil's advocate, as mentioned, is that the point of listening to Radiohead, to get this stellar vocal performance? No, you're not listening to Celine Dion, you're not listening to Whitney Houston, you're not listening to Stevie Wonder, and I get that, and I'm not trying to be unfair to Radiohead by any means, but on this channel, when we do review vocals, we're not reviewing them in the context of just that band or just that artist and the other work. We are reviewing it in the context of any music that has ever existed by anybody in the history of the industry. So with that context in mind, hopefully you can tell I'm not trying to hate on the vocals by any means. I think they're solid, but again, that's not really the point when you're listening to Radiohead. So in my opinion, a 6 out of 10 is fair. Up next, we have lyrics, which I'm giving a very strong 8 out of 10. Keep in mind, this is a first time hearing blind review of the song, so I must admit, I have not done any deep diving regarding the lyrics, reading entire pages of what they really mean, what the deeper meaning is. Even still, that being said, 8 out of 10 is very strong. Taking them at face value, you can feel authenticity, you can feel pain, angst, you can feel expression, you can feel creativity, you can feel how fresh they are, especially in an era of the music industry where so often lyrics are either redundant, repetitive, generic. You really feel a deeper meaning with these. You really feel imagery, you really feel metaphor, symbolism. And I think the reason I'm not going much higher than that is, yes, this is a blind review, but also, if we're talking about the history of music, there are songs that are going to be better penned, that are going to be a bit more poetic, that are going to have better wordplay. Not to say this song entirely lacks that, but I also wouldn't say it's at the exceptional level that some other songs in history have been written at. Evidently, however, this song and this album have stood the test of time, so I owe it the due respect and the due reverence. Now, arriving at our final category of originality and or inspiration, I am giving this song another very rare 9 out of 10. And I suppose the more I review truly great music, the less rare these 9s out of 10s are becoming. But for me, it still feels rare, especially in this category of originality, when you're looking for vision, when you're looking for artistry, when you're looking for a song that is very intentional with what it's creating, all the while remaining unique enough to stand the test of time, not sacrificing artistry or originality to please the masses, not being so abstract either that you lose a ton of people. I don't know, I'm confusing myself, but all that to say, I am so pleased and impressed with the originality and how inspired this song truly is. And to make my point, the proof in the pudding is that no song before this sounds like this, and no song since this sounds like this either. Using the medium of music for what it should be, an art form. Now finally, if you add it all up, throw in the expert score and average it out, Paranoid Android by Radiohead off their third studio album, OK Computer, released in 1997, gets a very strong 8.2 out of 10. Now, given Radiohead's reputation, the stature of this album, and the excellence of this song, an 8.2 out of 10 might seem a bit low, but on the other hand, an 8.2 on this channel is one of the highest overall scores a song has ever gotten. With the splitting of hairs, by dividing it into specific categories, going through them each, and still landing on a score that in my opinion is truly great, tells me and should reaffirm to you guys that this is one of the best songs in the history of the music industry. Consider me converted to Radiohead. And of course, I encourage you guys who know far more about Radiohead than myself to let me and others know in the comments what you think of this song, the making of the album, other history, facts, trivia, so that I can learn and others new to Radiohead can learn too. In addition to that, other Radiohead recommendations that you have are greatly appreciated. I do acknowledge that this one is by no means a deep cut by Radiohead, so as someone who is passionate about other groups and bands and artists, I'm always encouraging other people to say, well, if you like that, you should check out this obscure song. So drop those in the comments down below, and of course other recommendations. As mentioned, I've mentioned Metallica, Iron Maiden, Radiohead, Mac Miller, David Bowie, other recommendations for songs you'd like for this channel to review next. And of course, let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Am I warmer? Am I colder? Am I batshit crazy? Am I right on the money? As mentioned, if you'd like to support myself and the work I put into these videos, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you'd like to support the channel further, you'll find Music Kingdom's Patreon and other affiliate links in the description below. This has been another edition of Music Kingdom. Thank you so much for listening with me. Thank you for the 1,500 subscribers, and I'll look forward to jamming with you guys in the next one.